Welcome back to the Graham Stephan Show. So unfortunately, I have some bad news here. The Biaheza lost $500,000 trading stocks at 21 years old, and he posted a video about it that we're going to break down right now. So how about this, guys? Make sure to subscribe, like the video for the YouTube algorithm, and now with that said, let's begin.
In the last few months, I've had days where I'd wake up to 20, 30, 40, even a $60,000 loss.
Oh man, it only gets worse. The more money you make, the bigger the losses, let me tell you. One day I was down $300,000. And this isn't me just like going and willy-nilly trading stuff. Like this is me holding index funds and I'm down 300 grand. Just one bad day. One day. So anyway, I feel his pain, but I'm gonna tell him. Only gets worse from there.
So by the time I was out of bed, I was already down tens of thousands of dollars.
Oh yeah, you grow numb after a while. You know, I will say, the first time when I dumped like a substantial amount of money into index funds, there was one day where I was down $60,000. And that was the biggest loss I've ever had. And I remember that entire day just feeling like I was like in a fog. I just was like, what am I doing? This is so stupid. 60 grand is so much money. But now it's like I could be down like 100, 150, 200 grand in a day. It's like, whatever. I literally don't care anymore. It's so crazy how you get desensitized to it. So even though he's waking up like this, like down 50 grand, in the big picture, it's like, 1%. I don't know, whatever it is for him. But anyway, you just get used to it. It's weird.
Total, my stock and crypto portfolio has dipped around $500,000 in the last few months alone. The current market sentiment teetering on extreme fear.
Now, I will counter with this and just say that, a lot of people have been in so much profit. Like, unless you bought in everything at the peak, most likely a lot of this is profit, and everyone is down like the same percentage. So everyone's probably down about 15 to 30% depending on what you're invested in, some more, some less. But yeah, I have a feeling most of this $500,000 is profit anyway, and he's talking about from the peak.
My patent pending finance YouTube thumbnail stock indicator says we're seeing a whole lot of flames and red backgrounds here.
There I am. Look at that. Prepare. Broke. Oh, look, how many thumbnails did he use? 1, 2, 3, 4 thumbnails from me. Oh, those thumbnails. We need more flames. Just put flames in everything. It's funny how it works like that, but I click on videos that have flames in them.
The question becomes, should I sell everything and walk away from the market forever? Or is this a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to get in while assets are at a discount and get rich quick once it hopefully rebounds?
The second one, he's not gonna sell. There's no way he's gonna sell.
The only reason I'm not really paying attention to it and I don't care about it too much is because it was unrealized gains. So if I sold a few months ago, yeah, I would have an extra $500,000 to my name, but I haven't dipped into the principal, the amount of money I've actually put in. It's just lost profit.
Yeah, there we go. What I say? See, for people who have been dollar cost averaging for more than a year and a half, most likely a lot of this is profit. So even though it kind of sucks, it's profit.
Market conditions like we're in right now can be a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. If you get in while everything is down, you stand to make a ton of money when it hopefully rebounds. Now, before we come to a conclusion on whether this is actually a good time to buy in, we got to talk about why we're down bad in the first place.
I don't get that. I don't get some of these memes. So many memes. What is the toast meme with, what is that, honey? Down bad? I don't get it. I'm too old. I'm too old when I don't understand memes like this. It's so funny. He's 10 years younger than me. That's nuts. Keep forgetting he's 21 years old. I just think everyone automatically is like 30. I don't know why. I don't get the meme.
During the pandemic, everybody was getting absolutely guapped up by the government in terms of stimulus checks and loans. The Fed was printing a ton of money. There's different ways to quantify it and look at it. Some people are claiming that 80 to 90% of all US dollars in existence were printed in these last couple of years.
I've heard of that. They're counting, I believe it's the M2 money supply, which is basically the money in checking accounts, I believe. It's not like all the money that exists, but it's the money in circulation. So yeah, it's a lot. They printed so much. I saw a meme the other day. It was so true. It's like, here's your 3 $600 stimulus checks. Enjoy. And then right afterwards, like, well, you're going to pay for that by higher costs in gasoline, higher housing prices, higher rental prices, higher inflation, and yep, that should do the trick. It's crazy. Nothing is free. Absolutely, you're going to pay for it. We're all going to pay for it one way or another. You get a $600 check. It's not free. How are you going to pay for that? Well, you're going to pay for it in so many worse ways, plus interest. It's pretty bad.
They made it super cheap to borrow money with low interest rates. So for example, if you bought a $500,000 house in like early 2021, when you could have gotten a loan at an interest rate of about 3%, maybe even lower, but with a good down payment and after tax and insurance and everything, your monthly payment would be around $2,300. But today, with the current rising mortgage rate of around 5%, that same house, same price, same down payment and everything, the monthly payment would be closer to $2,800. And that percent is growing as we speak. So we might even see a housing crash come out of this, because the only way to make that monthly payment affordable to where people would actually buy homes is if the purchase price would be lower.
We'll see if we see a housing crash or not. I think inventory is still extremely low. We'll have to see a surge of inventory for that to really begin to come down, or people to straight up just stop buying houses, which, it's always a possibility. I don't think we're going to see a crash, but I could see certain markets going down 5-10%. That's what I could realistically see.
We're getting reports of decade-high inflation numbers. And if we go back in time, history shows that the Fed has not been able to correct even smaller instances of inflation without pushing the economy into a significant recession.
Yep, they don't have a good track history with what they call soft landings, which is basically them raising rates and not throwing us into a recession. They mostly throw us into a recession. Now, it's not on purpose, but it's just by raising interest rates, by making things more expensive, businesses are going to cut back, unemployment is going to get higher, and I wouldn't be surprised. We're probably in a recession right now.
When you have inflation, everything costs more, so people need pay raises in order to maintain their same standard of living.
Wow. Oh my gosh, look at this Chipotle thing. Chicken, $6.50. I remember this. $7.75. Steak is almost $10. Wow. I remember back in 2017, I'd always get the chicken because I didn't want to spend $7.50 on the steak. That like extra dollar for me, like, oh, I could save $1. It's like the same thing. Now look at this. The steak's $9.10. It would be cheaper to get the steak back then than it cost to get the chicken now.
Lots of big bank analysts are calling the recession. Yield curves are inverting. All kinds of different recession indicators are popping off. And with all of this happening, we're seeing companies report their earnings over the last couple of weeks, and those are coming in under expectations. Amazon reported its lowest growth since the dot-com bubble. Shopify is down 67% in these last 4 months alone.
Yeah, but we could all argue it was never worth that to begin with. Usually what I've seen in a lot of these stocks is that you have like a net neutral value for the stock. Like this is where it should trade. But in an upswing, people are going to value it all the way up here. In a downturn, they're going to value it all the way down here. So you get these wild swings, and in between is usually the price it should be trading at. So I have a feeling with Shopify, it could be undervalued, it could be oversold, it could be down here and it's worth up here, but it was never worth up here to begin with.
I found this study in a CNBC article that Bank of America did, in which they took all of the stock market gains and losses since 1930, and they found that if an investor missed the S&P's 10 best days each decade, the total return they would stand to get over these last almost 100 years is 28%. So if you sat out of the market for just 10 days out of each decade since 1930, you'd only get 28%. But if, on the other hand, the investor held steady through the ups and downs and didn't miss out on those 10 days out of every decade, the return would have been 17,715%.
Yep, that's why you do not time the market. You can't predict it. I'll be honest with you, the market makes absolutely no sense. No sense. It just does what it wants to do. It's random. I swear, sometimes it feels like there's a guy at the stock exchange flipping a coin. It's like up, tails today, the market's down, sell. And then the other day is like flip a coin up, it's heads today, buy. That's how it feels like. Half the time, there's nothing that even matters that moves the markets. It's just like up, down today. You can't time it. It's like playing a game of roulette. That's why it's better. Just long term, the house always wins. Long term, the long-term investor always wins. So that's the way you kind of got to think of it.
No matter what the Lambo man on Instagram will tell you, predicting the 10 best days out of every 10 years is basically impossible, which is exactly why it doesn't make sense for me, someone who's in the market for the long term, to sell out even though things might be looking bleak. This kind of reminds me of the feeling I got in like March 2020, where things just seemed kind of hopeless, like the world is ending and we're never gonna get out of this. But like a year later, everyone looked back and was mad that they didn't seize that opportunity and buy the dip.
Yeah, you know, it's not funny. It's not funny, but I got a lot of comments. March.
It's a bad time to buy. This is bad. No, I'm going to hold cash and wait to see what happens. Things are going to get a lot worse.
Those tend to be the same people who look back,
Oh, I wish I could have bought. I wish I could have bought back then. But, yeah, oh, it's unfair.
You have to. It's, you know, the thing is, you have to buy when no one else is buying, and then some. Like, you have to also buy when people are buying. But the point being, you can't look at the market drops and have that influence your decision whether or not you invest.
I'm not selling, I'm buying in and averaging all the way down.
The show goes on!
And hopefully this video doesn't age like milk.
All right, so let's see how this video aged. April 30th, which means he probably filmed it on the 28th. April 28th, he's down about 7%. Down about 7% from there. Not terrible if he's in the S&P. Probably more if he's in crypto, but you know what? It's the name of the game. Thank you so much for watching. Feel free to add me on Instagram, and I'll link to Biaheza's video down below in the description. Subscribe to him as well. Go support his channel. And how about this? Until next time.